swear I want you all to myself because I'm selfish. I want you all to myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else. I want you all to myself. Now that I got you here, girl, I ain't gon' play with you. Because it's a lot of things that I wanna say to you. Girl, you know you the shit. Balenciaga's on your kicks. Niggas all on your dick, but we ain't gon' tip. Cause I'm not ready for no commitment. But I swear I hate seeing you with them. And I know you ain't trying to control me. And I know you tired of being lonely. I can't help how I feel. I'm just keeping it real. They can't have you, girl, because I'm selfish. I want you all to myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else, I swear. I want you all to myself because I'm selfish. I want you all to myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else, I swear. I want you all to myself, I swear. I'm selfish. I want you all to myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else, I swear. I want you all to myself because I'm selfish. I want you all to myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else. I want you all to myself. Sorry, I'm selfish, can't help it. You know I get stuck when you come around. And them niggas be sick cause we be on some shit, yeah, they know I'm gon' hold it down. Pull up in the whip, tell you how I been with your friends. We gon' go to my crib, have myself cook us up a dinner. Girl, you know you fucking with a winner. I ain't nothing like these lanes, I swear. Name a place I can take you there. I'll do anything to make you laugh. And you can have anything, just ask. But just know that I'm selfish. And I swear I can't help it. But it's all for you, yeah, it's all for you. I'm selfish. I want you all to myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else, I swear. I want you all to myself because I'm selfish. I want you all to... GM, ladies and gentlemen, right? I want to start this show off in a special way of giving gratitude to everyone who's here right now, everyone who's been attending these spaces, participating in these spaces, even if you never came up to speak, right? I think showing your support and learning and growing and participating in here is very special for the community. That song was by rapper PNB Rock, who just passed away last night, shot and killed in Los Angeles. And I always talk about having gratitude and being grateful for simply even being alive to witness this phase of humanity. I pray that we all get to live long enough to see the fruits of our labor, to see the fruits and the manifestation of this thing play out, right? That's the goal, right? We all need to see the manifestation of ENS and it become mainstream in society. And I think that's very well going to happen for us all. We just got to stay the course. Now, there's very exciting things to talk about today. There's always exciting things to talk about in the world and in the space of ENS. But the first thing I need for you guys to do before I even kind of jump into the exciting things that we're going to talk about today is let's go ahead and give this room, let's go ahead and give this space a retweet. Let's get a little bit more people in here because today is going to be action packed, right? Action packed with info, action packed with good shit to talk about. So I'm kind of going to jump right into it, right? I'm going to start off with the big news that just came out. Fidelity, Charles Schwab, both announced that they're announcing cryptocurrency exchanges, right? That is huge. That is huge. Why is that huge? Because these are investment firms that deal with billions, not millions, but billions of dollars of retirement funds, people's Roth IRAs, all types of big money these people are dealing with, right? And now they decide, hey, we're gonna open up our own cryptocurrency exchange. That means ENS adoption is coming very soon, right? So we could talk about that a little bit later as well. I also want to go over to Doodles. Doodles just got evaluated at $704 million and they raised $54 million. Well, we have to understand with some of these current brands, although most of these brands I believe are scams, there are some brands some NFT collections that will survive the test of times. Doodles just raised $54 million, evaluated at $704 million.
what we need to realize also is that some of these brands will become the biggest IP over the course of the next 10 to 15 years. They'll become the next Disney's. They'll become the next, Star Wars or whatever it is. That very well could be Doodles, right? So what happens when Doodles goes into its next phase and then they announce the ENS name wrapper? Because they own their ENS name, right? What happens when Bored Ape Yacht Club announced that they're doing name wrappers because they own their name as well? They're just kind of sitting in the background right now, waiting post merge and post name wrappers. I believe until they actually make a feasible move in that ecosystem. So, man, I think the growth we've seen over the past 5 months is nothing. I think it's nothing. I think the growth we'll see over the course of the next 6 to 12 months is probably going to be that 2x of what we've seen over the past 6 months, right? And it's just the compound effect of the merge and the name wrapper and having way more users, right? And last but not least, the most exciting news I think for most people is here today is Shark Tank Well, or Shark Tank Shark Matt Higgins was on Twitter yesterday doing some research, I guess, and he brought two prominent three-digit ENS domains. One is the area code for Houston. Another one is the area code for New York City. So you can kind of see his strategy, right? He's hyper focused on what three digits he's buying. And I want to give a special shout out to Gwayman. He just told me that he's not able to make it today, or he might be able to pop in a little later. He is at work, but Gwayman pretty much onboarded a Shark Tank well into ENS, right? I guess the ENS, Matt, I just pinned it to the top. You guys can kind of look at the thread that's going on there. The Matt Higgins was curious about a .sol domain, and Gwayman pretty much came in and said, "Hey, Matt, if you're going to be looking at a decentralized domain, you need to only be probably focused on ENS." He DMs Gwayman. A couple minutes later, he purchases a three-digit. And then Wayman just told me today that he brokered the deal where he purchased his second three-digit today. So exciting times ahead. If we have sharks that are buying ENS, degenning into ENS digits. I think that's a very good sign. He has high net worth buddies and individuals that he's around. So I'm very excited. Let's talk about it. Let's go over to Ron, and then we'll go over to Gary.
Well, real quick, Kevin, while
Yeah.
you go to Ron, go check that shark's last name and go see whose wallet his last name is in. Because I heard a rumor that somebody gave that shark his last name for free.
Yeah. Great. I don't know about his exact last name, but
I don't think it was Gway. I think it was somebody else gave his last name for free. I mean, go check his wallet while Ron goes.
I'll take a look at it. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, GM, everyone. Yeah, exciting stuff. It's on the bad news side of thing. Obviously, the CPI came in at a little higher than expected, which means even with these two rate cuts, points, 3/4 basis point rate cuts we've had, it almost guarantees because inflation came in at 8.3. They kind of thought it was going to be 8.1, and so that just nearly guarantees that we're going to have a higher, that 3/4 point is going to, for sure be the next rate hike. It almost guarantees that. And which is, if when you're in the mortgage business, I was at a big, my friend's wedding over the weekend. Couple, his son and a few people are in the mortgage and real estate business, and obviously they're feeling the pinch. So, we have all this great stuff. The only reason we're not all retired right now is because the macro sucks so bad, right? The governments have done such a bad job of printing money and being stupid for all these years and doubling down recently. That's not just the United States. That's every country. I mean, it's crazy when I went to Africa and I've been like my 15th trip to Africa, and even South Africa, which is one of the better countries over there, more wealthier countries. Even the exchange rate was like, God, I think it was 17, 18 to 1. And it was just crazy. It's stupid as the United States is being with their economy and printing money and being dumb. Most of the reason most of us are all here in crypto. It was still amazing that I was still, able to get stuff for half as much as I was last time, which was crazy. So, the U.S. dollar is still the best house in a real shitty neighborhood, I guess. But over what I'm saying is the stuff Kevin just read off this morning, Doodles, the Shark Tank guy, the big firms coming into crypto, them raising $54 million. That's all happening in a bear market. This news, the news that Kevin just spouted off, what's happened, do you realize what that same exact news would have been in one day? Do you know what that would do to this market in a bull market? It would those things could make things go parabolic, right? So we have to step back and realize we're in a horrible macro market. Once again, the reason most of us are in crypto is because we see this. The governments, none of the governments can get off their addiction to printing money, right? And then not only printing money, but not wisely using it, right? It's just the same everywhere. Some countries are worse, some countries are better, but we're all on the same path, right? So, but we got to realize, hey, this is a bear market. This stuff, like I say, this same news could just make things go crazy. So keep that in mind as you're grinding every day and setting your path out. We have a great thing happening with ENS, but it's happening within a very bad overall macro, marketplace. So we have this big tidal wave flowing that's going to push us all into that we're all getting ready to surf this massive wave, but yet there's also these big headwinds with everything else. So keep that balance, keep that perspective, and that's why we have to keep grinding, we have to keep building, but realize these are good. This is good news. I mean, really, really, really exciting things happening, but it's happening in a bear market. So that means we got to keep grinding. We got to keep preparing for the long haul. We've got the only liquidity really is in these numbers, and if you need to, if you need to invest, where you're going to need to access that money, or you need to use some of it to pay some of your fees for the long haul and stuff. The numbers is kind of where that's at. Everything else is more long term. Some of the numbers are more liquid than others. Obviously, 3 digits, 4 digits, 5 digits, maybe some of the Arabic. Everything else is still kind of long term. I bought a bunch. I bought over 100 of the I bought a 3 digit and a bunch of over 100 4 digit, the keycaps, emoji ones. I think those are going to be good someday, but they're a longer term play. But yeah, just realize where we're at. It's good to talk, but man, amazing news that sometimes early on in early, 2011 to 2017, you didn't have this much news happen in a month, right? It's inevitable. It just shows you how inevitable crypto, NFTs, ENS is. But because of the bear market, we're not feeling it. So keep that in mind. $54 million. I want to go raise $54 million and buy ENS domains and ENS tokens. So that's kind of what I would like to focus on. I feel like if Doodles can do it, that we could do that as well. So I would love to see that. Imagine how good of investment that would potentially be, and compared to Doodles. Nothing against Doodles. I think it's great. I love Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, Doodles, Azuki's, all these teams that are building and stuff. They'll be here. They're creating utility. They're creating value. They're creating a value for their members, and that's great. I like to see it. That's a positive thing. Anybody building in the bear market is a positive thing, is going to help. The rising tide lifts all ships. But yeah, but still, let's remember this is a marathon. This is a 10,000-mile death march. We've got to grind through, and we've got to deal with all the problems, the real life stuff, and the ups and downs of the hardness of a bear market. But these people that are building things that are happening, ENS, what they're doing now, imagine what happens when this thing turns, and that might be 6 months, might be 18 months, it might be 2 years. We don't know, but when it flips, these are foundational, great things that are happening. So it is important to keep it in perspective, and that's what I love about ENS. I don't worry. I hardly even watch my Bitcoin anymore because I know it's not. It may go up. It went to 20, went to 17.5, went to 26, 18, went to now it's at 22, 21, whatever. It really doesn't matter. That's going to do what it's going to do. It's not going to fully turn until the market fully turns. But within ENS, it's bright hope. It gives us something to build and work on and focus on every day, and good stuff. I mean, geez, I have 4 or 5 times my money on my 4 digits, and same 3 or 4 times my money on my 5 digits, and redeveloping some of that now into some of the maybe the more risky plays that I think are just as inevitable over time. So yeah, great stuff. Like Mastery's not here, but I'll say for him, every day is a good day in ENS. But this is huge news, unfortunately, in a bear market. But yeah, let's keep grinding. Let's keep moving forward.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think it's amazing news, right? It's amazing news in my opinion. We also didn't mention that the merge is officially 1 day, 14 hours, and 11 minutes away from this current moment. I think we already started to see the pre-merge dump, right? This is kind of something I speculated on that come the merge, ETH will kind of drop in price a bit, and we seen a little dump earlier in the day. So let's keep an eye on for that. Although short term ETH might dump, long term this merge is very bullish for ETH, right? And a big example of that is Starbucks. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Starbucks is partnering with Polygon to Matic, whatever you want to call it, to bring in digital digital rewards, right, to their system. And they said the only reason that is possible doing that is because ETH is going green, right? So that's just one example of a major Fortune 500 company that's able to now use Ethereum and use blockchain technology because it has now gone green. Imagine all the companies that will follow right behind Starbucks in partnering with Matic or Ethereum to do these great, cool, next level, next generation initiatives. Let's go over to the NFT verse, and then Flex has his hand up.
Hey, Jim, 5159. Appreciate you, man, as always, hosting the NS Update show. Hopefully, everybody retweeted the space out to make sure that we get some people in here and start, having that conversation and get them educated and understanding what this space is all about. To the other co-host, Ron, appreciate you as always. To the speakers, Gary, Punks, 3402, Crypto Reporter, Flexter, 1261, Coldface. I see Thread Girl out there too. I see Flossin, my boy Flossin out there, man. What's up? But yeah, just kind of touching on some of the things that you touched on, 5159 and Ron, the big companies, right? So we had the big companies out there that we knew this was going to happen, guys. I don't care how much FUD they put out in the news. I don't care how much negativity they try to throw at crypto. It doesn't even matter. I don't even pay attention to it, to be honest, because I know where the future is headed, right? I knew they were coming. They were already planning on coming. They had already invested in blockchain already. If you pay attention and you read between the lines, you'll see that they were already invested in blockchain. So it just matters with the announcements, right? So some people like the convenience of just waiting for something to be publicized, right? For me, I research and I determine what has already happened. I don't need to wait until it's publicized, right? I do my digging and I already can see what's going on. And I think that that's what a lot of us need to begin to focus on is do your digging and understand that these companies are already players in the game, right? They announce it to the masses so that the masses feel good about them coming aboard, which is a good thing, right? They're starting to adopt those things. But do you think they're going to let $1 trillion crypto industry just pass by them when all that money is circulating through there? Man, you're absolutely crazy if you think they're going to let that money slide by, right? So that the thing is that we have to understand is that consumers are the one who brings the big players in, right? Because we have the spending power, we have the money. They follow the money if you pay attention to it. So I always knew that they were going to be coming to crypto. It's just a form of and an understanding of when. It's only a matter of when it was going to happen. And now it's starting to happen because one of the big things that was a catalyst to that is the whole energy thing, right? So that's why with the merge happening, like Kevin and Ron touched on, With the merge happening, now things become eco-friendly, right? So now things become a little bit eco-friendly, more energy friendly. And now the companies are more willing to jump aboard and say, okay, where we had initiatives out there that were kind of against the whole energy conversation, now ETH is coming, and now we can now kind of go full steam ahead with our plans. That's what they were waiting on. And a lot of people have said that, man, ETH is going to flip Bitcoin. Listen, man, I tell you like this: if adoption works out the right way, I don't know how the technicalities work with the blockchain and how Bitcoin is connected to ETH and how all of that stuff goes. But I can tell you that as far as the future and what it looks like, it may not flip it, but even if it gets close to it, it's gonna make ETH a juggernaut in this crypto industry, man. And because that's one of the main things that these companies are gonna adopt, right? The first two cryptocurrencies that they even mentioned are the most secure, right? Why would companies say, okay, we're going to go ahead and move into crypto, and the first two that we're going to start accepting or trading is Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are the most secure and trusted ones that's been around, longevity, right? So ENS being part of Ethereum, it only makes sense that ENS will start to grow too, because there's a certain level of security and trust that lies within that blockchain. So those are the types of things that we have to look forward to. And like Kev said, with the doodles, with the 704 million valuation, man, and raising 54 million, that's huge, man. But these are the companies that have to come along when these paradigm shifts occur. These are the companies who become the new Disneys, like Kev, who become the new Marvels, because now they're expanding their IPs. Don't think that they're just going to stop with Bored Apes. They may come out with a whole nother IP related to that. They got the dogs, they got the mutants. You got to understand the gamification, the media, the movies, all of these things. Those IPs will start to expand, and these will be the future generations that are seeing this, and they'll be tapping into this because now these particular IPs have a metaverse presence too, where these new young kids can start to interact. So it's not just a movie experience when you go to the movies. It's a real life experience in the true metaverse, right? So these are the types of things that these companies are going to bring along, and we have to understand that, you got to position yourselves the right way, right? There'll be other projects that come along with that. I hope the ENS Maxis, get to a point where, they start some development, right? For ENS, because guess what? Having the largest community, man, your valuation is already skyrocketed anyway. It's a built-in valuation of sustainability. So, just kind of thinking through all of those things, and I just want to give a shout out to Great Man. Great Man's a legend, man, for doing that. For the community, man. That's only one part of one piece that has happened in that introduction, and guess what? He did it the right way. So take notes from the way he did it and the way he approached it, because you guys out there who are holding certain domains may have to take that same approach. So just kind of think about that. And I look forward to the conversation today. I know I probably said a lot, but I'm just trying to get it all out. I appreciate the community. I appreciate you guys tapping in today. Man, I look forward to the conversation. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, I just want to insert one quick thing based on what NFTverse said. $700+ million valuation. Does anyone in this room, do any of us ENS Degens, any of us ENS Maxis, for a minute believe that doodles are worth twice as much as the whole of ENS, the DAO and everything? Okay. The reason I say that is because right now ENS is valued at 372 million. Doodles just came in with a valuation of 700 million. That's almost twice. So just shy of twice. Does anyone believe? Because this is the research NFTverse is talking about. This is not listening and following other people. This is getting there. This is finding where it's going and getting there first. You look at the utility. You look at the potential of everything that is ENS, do you know, I don't know whether we're talking about the tokens or just everything. Do you believe that Doodles, one project, hats off to them, they're definitely a blue chip NFT project, grinding, making stuff happen through the bear market. But does anyone here really believe long term Doodles is worth twice as much as ENS? And if so, then you know, sell all your ENS tokens and buy Doodles NFTs or whatever. But you see what I'm saying? That's the kind of that's the when there's a disparity in valuation, right? When there's a disparity in valuation, that's where the opportunity is. So just think about that.
How much is ENS worth?
The ENS token right now is valued at 372 million. Half of the Doodles valuation.
What's interesting is that all these brands. Yeah, no worries. I'll just say one quick point. What's interesting is that all these brands, the fundamental layer of all this is identity, right? The fundamental layer of all this is going to be ENS. All these brands have to build on top of ENS to grow their ecosystem, to grow their platform through name wrappers and subdomains, and you know, that is the base layer. So what we're talking about here is something that's going to be implemented in every NFT brand, at least major brand that plans on expanding to the next level with the name wrapper. We've seen ENS Punks, what he was able to do with subdomains and his collection, right? So that is just a preview of what every new brand in NFT project and collection is going to be doing in the upcoming days, months, and years. Let's go over to Flex. Flex, go ahead, man.
Hey guys, yeah, thank you for having me up here. Just to jump way back to the beginning when I put my hand up, it was about Starbucks. Okay, everybody in the space knows I'm 50, so I remember paying with the credit card on the big brick that you had to put the carbon paper and to kind of imprint the credit card and so on and so forth. You remember the old lady in the grocery store line with her checkbook that would break out and hand write a $3.16 check. So as far as currency is concerned, let's talk about Starbucks. With Starbucks not taking cash anymore, it's a huge step for everybody, and I think you guys are underplaying it, in my opinion. Silicon Angel has put out a nice little article from Starbucks and from their chief marketing officer and executive vice president, Brady Brewer, excuse me. And yes, his name is Brady Brewer, and he's the Starbucks chief executive vice president. So funnily enough, that's ironic. But here's something that they put out. To engage and earn the new NFTs, you will log in to your current rewards program using and engaging in the Odyssey Journeys series of activities, such as playing interactive games, trivia challenges about coffee and Starbucks, and members will be rewarded with digital collectible stamps, NFTs. They're called stars. So if you guys are Starbucks fans, so on and so forth, the rewards program and the focus and platform of it has been published. It was published last night. Okay, so if you're wondering where the future is in crypto. You can see that they're on the Polygon. They're working with Polygon in particular. But the Ethereum blockchain and the Polygon blockchain, as it stands for these companies, is going to be the platform. It's going to be the stance for the blockchain that I believe it's speculation, of course, but it's going to be what I believe they're going to use. So Starbucks is not only combining, I mean, let's put it together. What is community, right? Starbucks has always been about community. It's always been about you go meet at the coffee house, you go meet at the coffee shop, you have a cup of coffee. Wait, hey guy, where do you want to meet? Oh, I'll meet you at Starbucks, blah, 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 right? That's community. That's where people go to sit. And now Starbucks is creating the one-on-one, the with each other, without actually going to Starbucks particularly to do that. They can do it now through NFTs and have a community of NFTs, earning stars and so on and so forth. So yes, 100%, we're headed for the right direction. But in my opinion, early. Okay, yes, of course we're early. But again, in my opinion, I think this is creeping up on you guys a whole lot faster than you believe it's gonna. A lot of people are saying, it's speculation for me, because I've seen so much in my 50 years, I can only say. But Everybody is saying, oh, next year, if I hold on to my NFTs or if I hold on to my domains till next year, till next year, till next year. I'm not so sure you have to wait till next year personally, especially with moves like this being made with the Sharks, with moves like this being made with Starbucks, with moves being made with, of course, what we've seen in the past 5 months, Nike, Hublot, Puma. I mean, there is mass adoption happening with major conglomerate corporations. So not to speak too many big words, but I think y'all better buckle the fuck up because this shit is going down.
And there we have it, folks. Buckle the fuck up. Hop on the roller coaster because it's gonna be a ride. Thank you, Flex. I think you make very good points, man. It's happening fast, right? Just look at the growth over the past 6 months, all the new players in the space. And I think, and like I said earlier, it's only going to happen faster because ETH is going green. Companies literally have in their things in their business models that they cannot participate in things that are against the environment and so forth and so on, right? Because their company standards or whatever it is. Because ETH is now going green, that is what allowed Starbucks to even come in and do this collaboration with Polygon. So something to keep into consideration. Gary, I know Gary wanted to speak a little earlier, and then we could go to Crypto Reporter.
Yeah, so I misspoke in the beginning of the show. It wasn't the shark. It was this Michael B guy from Sotheby's. And yeah, so Michael was asked if Sotheby's has considered including ENS domains in the Sotheby's NFT portfolio. This will be everyone's identity in the metaverse. And Sotheby's is having all these auctions for Sotheby's metaverse. And so people are asking, are they going to have ENS in the Sotheby's metaverse? And this dude, Michael, who's the VP Contemporary Art Specialist and co-head of digital art at Sotheby's, Sotheby's, which is auctioned off apes and punks and Gary V Friend original art pieces, physical art pieces. They've considered, in fact, confirmed, right, putting ENS names, right? This isn't just ENS names as utility, ENS names as identity, ENS names as a protocol. This is ENS names as art. The art of the name itself, the art of the protocol, the art of the identity, the art of the community, the art of the network effect. And the art, maybe it's going to be, the art of the number and the art of the word. And once Sotheby's opens that door, we don't need them to, but it'd be smart if they did. And they show all these rich, Web 0, Web 1, Web 2 people, that these names are art and they're going to want to flex. They're seeing, you guys know, like I don't got to sell you guys. You guys know people love flexing with numbers and license plates and everything, right? We know the numbers are cool. We know the words are cool. And, we have Disney announcing, their digital journeys that they're going to be having. We're hearing Starbucks announcing their digital journeys that they're going to be having. Sotheby's having digital journeys that they're like, everyone is shifting. And, 9 times out of 10, probably more than that, they're using some sort of Ethereum compatible system. And it's all connected. So we just got to continue doing our thing, continue spreading the word, encouraging people to secure at the very least just their personal name, just in case this, all of us crazy people are right about the future. And just encouraging, more apps and dApps to use the ENS name stuff, which, 5159 is 100% right. I feel that everything that's going to explode and come, it's waiting until after the merge, like a lot of the technological developments. But I also agree with what Ron said, that it's that the pricing probably is not going to explode. I hope I'm wrong. But with the recession in the economy, we probably got to get, through that. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays, so, you've got to take care of yourself financially. You don't want to overextend. And nevertheless, this is still the season of giving. and for $1 a day, if you haven't already donated, there's a dozen people on this stage that need you to give, $12, $1 to each of them. And I definitely am encouraging you to please go to Gitcoin Grants and just give $1 or $2 per person for some things that look cool at Gitcoin Grants. And sometimes you get, airdropped appreciation. Sometimes you get airdropped tokens. As Brantley was mentioning yesterday, so those tokens are also tax liabilities. But nevertheless, it's good that we're all participating. And you're participating in Gitcoin Grants, and it won't be too long before Sotheby's is participating in ENS names. So it's cool. I'm wondering on a side note, I'm looking at my portfolio of my names, and I'm like, I wonder if I could wrap a business around all this and bring it on Shark Tank. So maybe we get a couple of us together. We'll go on Shark Tank, bring ENS names like the actual Shark Tank show. Be like, all right, sharks, we want $1 million for $10 million at our $1 billion valuation. And we could have a lot of fun.
Hey, real quick, Gary, just you touching on the Sotheby's. Look at that's something that I had posted a while back ago. If you look at the date that I posted, I just pinned the post at the top. I posted that back in May, in regards to Sotheby's, because I feel like the most historic things that they could pick up were the pre-punks.
You got to go copy the link to that tweet and put that underneath Michael's, or you got to quote tweet Michael's and then pin that. You got to put those together. You got to paste that link right underneath where he says yes. You got to paste that link and be like, I'm going to change my name to Psychic NFT verse or some shit. You got to play that up, man.
Yeah, I will. What's his name? Did you post it up here, Gary?
Yeah. It's the one where I say yes. The Sotheby's is looking for the ENS for the Sotheby's metaverse. Click on that one, and then you'll see where I quote tweeted him saying yes, and go paste your thing right underneath where him says yes.
Got it. I got it, Gary. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
You got to historicalize that. That's really good, man. That's really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on that. Yeah, appreciate it, Gary.
Wow, room full of visionaries, right? How can you not want to be in a space full of visionaries, right? I think that is really good. I think it makes sense exactly what Sotheby's is doing is going in and getting some of those pre-punk names. So shout out to you, man. Let's go over to and by the way, Queen, we have Queen Gwei on the stage. Gwei Man couldn't make it today, so if Queen Gwei wants to speak on behalf of Gwei Man, that would be great as well. But let's go over to Crypto Reporter and then Mafiko next.
Hey everybody, GM 5159, Ron, NFT Verse, Gary, rest of speakers 3402. Great with the weather report. Love to see it. See some couple of familiar people in the crowd. You know who you are. So good morning to everybody. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Real quick, just a couple of points, and you guys have probably already touched on these things. It's funny how Starbucks is doing their whole thing, because I remember a week ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, we were a whole bunch of people that just hanged around at the Starbucks. So I think that was kind of ironic. And then even when I was on the phone with Alicia, and we were talking about just different incentives and things like that we can do for in-life meetups, she was like, well, she's always wanted to do things at the Starbucks, or just be like, hey guys, let's all hang out at the Starbucks. So I thought that was pretty funny how Starbucks is doing their. I had my hand raised because Flexter had actually made a point about going with the checkbooks and how that went and evolved into credit cards. And funny story, actually, the whole reason I'm here is actually in part due to Ron Klein. And for those who don't know, Ron Klein is actually he was actually the inventor of the credit card strip. So he was the guy that was able to pretty much figure out how to put tape recording on a card, and so that it would read. And he was able to invent that and give us all something that we use today, the credit card strip. He was also a person who created the more MLS and the bond quotation system for the New York Stock Exchange. And the reason I bring that up is because when I had asked him what the future of finance was, he said two words, and that was blockchain tech. And it was really at that point that I started to, kind of think to myself, okay, this guy created like pretty much everything that, we take for granted today. And if he's saying something like this, and that's blockchain tech, then I should perhaps look into this sector, figure out what's going on. So it's funny how that all kind of works, and it really brought me to you guys, and I'm very, very appreciative of that experience, because now I know about ENS and its potential, and I see it growing and growing exponentially every single day. And when you get to a point where you're starting to see all the institutions now looking towards just blockchain tech, just crypto in general, like you said, with Fidelity opening up that, when you see spot ETFs opening up and inverse ETFs, that's just liquidity upon liquidity upon liquidity just entering into the market. So it's going to be an interesting ride. Another thing, Ron touched on this actually real quickly during the morning, which was the fact of the CPI report. And it's kind of crazy because you start to realize how everything is really intertwined. And so, if the bonds sell off, stocks sell off, and, market falls and crypto falls. So it was weird because I said it last night too. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not really scared about ETH falling due to the merge. I'm really scared about, the bond, the just bonds in general, because that whole market is just, it relates to everything that we do on a day-to-day basis. And when once you see something like this, and of course everybody's speculating that you have to raise and stocks fall, crypto falls. So I don't even think it was really the merge that had everybody spooked. I think it was just the report this morning. But if anything, what this does is it gives us an opportunity to think and think strategically. It gives us an opportunity to try to find grails, because I feel as though during this fall, maybe September period, maybe we'll still be able to find grails out there. Or people may be selling for the cheap, depending on what's going on. And it's funny how, Matt Higgins comes in right before the report and everything, because honestly, if people were really understanding the potential of ENS last year, it would have been totally different. But I'm glad that did not happen, because what that does is gives us the opportunity to search for these grails, to find the things that we've been looking for, whether it's digits, words, just even emojis, just the things that we like. I feel like those may be going for sale at a discount, maybe sometime in the near future. So just everybody, have a plan, whatever that plan is. Really try to stick to it and try to figure out your horizon. As Gary would say, don't over leverage. I think that's very important. And just be able to make sure that you're planning throughout this whole thing. Last thing I'll say is I was able to do an interview with Tatum's. And for those who don't know, he's one of the designers on the ENS team. And so looking forward to, hashing that out, writing that out. It was a pretty good experience. And I look forward to trying to bring more coverage, more news, everything like that in the new future. But that's all I got for today, guys. If anything, stay safe out here. Love to see everybody in here. Yeah, and let's get back to the show.
Wow, thank you, Crypto Reporter. I'll say you guys are on fire today, right? You guys are just dropping bombs, dropping alpha, and dropping overall just great information. That was really good, Crypto Reporter, about the whole credit card system and all that, man. Appreciate that insight and alpha, brother. Keep doing God's work for this space. Now, I might have some breaking news for you all, right? There's speculation going on right now that Gary V potentially might be joining the 999 Club. And I'm looking at it on Twitter. Guys, this is all just DGens just tweeting on Twitter. So I just pinned it to the top. The guy says the Shark Tank M. Higgins picks up a second three digit But before doing so, it looks like Gary Vee sends him some ETH. Did he just owe him some ETH, or did Gary just join the 999 club? 917 is actually an area code for New York City. So if we take a step back and look at what's going on here, I would not be surprised if Higgins and Gary Vee are good friends. They're both mega wealthy, mega rich, right? So, guys, a lot might be happening in the coming days and weeks. We don't know. If we see that thing transferred over to Gary's wallet or something, just get ready. Delist your digital.
Buckle up, buckle up,
Buckle
buckle up.
like Flex said, buckle the fuck up because we're going to the moon, right? So this is very exciting times. We have 1261, aka Mafiko, with his hand up. Let's go to Mafiko. Let's go to 3402, and I really do want to hear from Gwei, from Queen Gwei. So let's go to her after.
Yo, what's good, guys? What's good? Thanks for the breaking news, Kev. That's man, never a dull day in this space for sure, man. Looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. A lot of really interesting developments over the past couple of of days, actually, and good timing because I start here in the UK. We start the academic semester in about actually next week. So I've been busy preparing for my classes. Looking forward to welcoming about 120 students, and the reason I bring that up is because one of the courses I'm teaching this semester is around global business and sustainable development goals. And a lot of us, we've been talking about the merge and what it may mean for a lot of these corporations that have been sitting on the sidelines, who've been kind of hesitant to get involved with Ethereum because of environmental concerns. I think my initial thinking about the merge is that we're going to potentially fundamentally see a big change in perception of Ethereum. And we're going to start to see perhaps a lot of corporates starting to use the blockchain in ways that transcend, I would say, the sort of Western context that we're in, right? Most of us in here are based in the US or based in Western nations. I would be interested, and I'm guessing what we're going to start to see is some of these corporates starting to look at innovative ways in which they can use blockchain tech to address some of these sustainable development goals that the United Nations talks about. So whether that's around peace and institutions and governance and different things, but as a potential PR play to set the ground for their larger ambitions. Obviously, Starbucks has been ahead of the game for a long time. There are going to be some corporations, particularly like I would imagine oil and gas, which isn't potentially directly related to consumer-facing blockchain tech, but that have been very hesitant to get involved, have got a bad rep in terms of environmental degradation, that may be interested in now starting to use blockchain tech to address or to sort of change their public reputation around these things in developing countries. How that plays or how that influences ENS, that's the question mark. I haven't thought that far yet, but I just started to raise it because I think we're going to start to see once that big change of perception happens, all sorts of companies are going to come out of the woodworks, and we're going to start to potentially see a lot of new and interesting use cases that we haven't even considered yet. Use cases which is a nice thing about ENS, right, is that it can be a business to consumer play, but it can also be a business to business play. So and I know Satoshi.test account, right? His account is very much being focused around building businesses with ENS. And so I wouldn't be surprised with this merge happening, with the headwinds around sustainability being a really key issue for corporates, with corporates looking to align themselves with sustainability issues. The blockchain presents a really interesting, novel way for them to do that. And so I would say if you have ENS names that are not traditionally digits, they're not first names, they're not last names, but they're more business oriented, I would say look, it's looking like the headwinds or the winds are changing, I would say. But again, it may all be speculation. It's all speculation at this point, but I just thought I'd raise it. Looking forward to the days ahead.
Definitely, man. Right. I think it's kind of like the calm before the storm, or the expression of the bad before the good. Right. I think we see a little dump. This is the calm, and then over the course of next several weeks, we really see some exciting news after news after news after news as people kind of dive into this thing. So I'm really excited. If you're not excited, you have to question if you're truly an ENS Maxi, right? And with that being said, I want to give a special shout out to the ENS Maxis, our sponsor, our first ever sponsor of the ENS Update Show. ENS Maxis is a 10K ENS related PFP project, right? So if you have over 10 ENS domains in your wallet, then there should be no reason why you don't have an ENS Maxi, right? Anybody with over 10 ENS domains in your wallet, question yourself and say, why don't you have a ENS Maxi? Because the truth is 99.9% of the population doesn't even know what ENS is, and you have over 10 of them, you Maxi. Let's keep the show moving right along here. Let's go over to 3402 with the weather report.
GM, Kev, the best host, our co-host Ron, the NFTverse, our amazing community. Great to be here on this Taco Tuesday and happy to report the daily forecast. The weather has settled back down for now with an average cool down, but the future remains bright with the sunshine projected all the way to 2050. ENS shines as some uneducated.com domainers will whine, but that's okay because we will continue to educate and give the forecast, fam. So I will get right to it. The top categories by ETH volume in the last 24 hours, we have the 10K Club cooling off a bit at 142 ETH volume, the 999 Club with 129 ETH volume, the 100K Club a third the volume at 48 ETH, while the 999 Arabic Club nearly half that with almost 18 ETH volume. Must be getting ready for fall, which is always temporary in ENS. Top 24-hour and 7-day sales back to consisting of all 3 digits. Highest sale remains to be 022.ETH for over 69 ETH, grabbing that top 30-day sales spot as well. Calling all floor price enthusiasts, this is for you. Here we go. 10K Club, a minimal revert in direction sitting at 2.3 ETH. 999 Club, as consistent as Kev with a 33 ETH floor. 100K Club at a 0.06 ETH floor, consistent as well. The Arabic 999 Club moving down slightly at 1.49 ETH floor. Next, we have our BidBot. These are live offers, or they were last I checked. 003.ETH and 004.ETH, both receiving 40 ETH offers. 002.ETH has a bid for 40.6 ETH. These bidders better hope the weather is cloudy or foggy to accept these 3-digit super grails. Chances are it's sunny, just like our next bid of 2 ETH for sunny.ETH. Then we have a grouped bid for 4-letter words, which I believe the seller will be saying hell to the no, but we have hell.ETH, we have sign.ETH, and we have book.ETH, all with 2.1 ETH offers. A bid for California.ETH has a 4 ETH offer. Maybe add a 00 and we'll see some action. Impressive sales, a couple 4 digits, 35.55 sold for 10.5 ETH. 99.90 sold for 10 ETH. People loving those repeating numbers. Most dope.ETH sold for 6 ETH, which is most dope for compound words. Starting to get hot. A 6-digit sale with those repeating digits. 777999.ETH sold for 3.5 ETH. Always a great day in ENS. That's a wrap for the weather. Keep that sunscreen nearby as we continue heating up when post-merge. Please join us today on the Gitcoin Grand Space as well. I'm hosting at 3 p.m. with our amazing guest, the one and only, the NFTverse, talking about the Friday night happy hour. It's going to be exciting. You don't want to miss it. Thanks as always, Kev. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the great weather report. The guy who you took the job from was just in the space earlier, so unfortunately, I think he left right before that. I wish he could stay and see the difference of a hire, right? Sometimes you just make a upgrade in hiring. So thank you, 3402, for doing a phenomenal job with that. I think that comes from the entire community. We do appreciate you. Queen Gwei is not going to put her hand up, so I just have to skip. I'm sorry, guys, with your hand up. I have to skip you guys very quickly and go over to Queen Gwei. I just want to hear a couple words from Queen Gwei. How's it going? And if you want to speak on behalf of Gwei Man, that would be great.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me. I got an invite in the beginning of the space, and I was freaking out a little bit just because I've never been in a space with this many people. But Gwayman actually just texted me that he was on his way home, so he should be home within the next 10 minutes. I was more than happy to speak on his behalf, but I think that you guys would get the full story if it came from him. So, yeah, so he should be home any minute. He said that he would hop on. So, sorry for everyone that was skipped with their hands up.
Oh man, throw me under the bus, right? Fellas, you guys are good. Thank you for that report and update, Queen Gway. Let's go over to 2302, and then we'll go over to my boy ENS Punks.
Hey, 5159, thanks for having me up. Ron, NFT Verse, Gary, 3402, great weather update. Yeah, so kind of wanted to maybe bring things a little bit back a few days. I know there's been a lot of hype in the last couple of days with seeing all of the corporations trickle in, seeing, of course, the Doodles' massive corporate raise. At a massive valuation. So the tide lifts all boats, especially non-ENS. I feel like ENS is just so integral to the ETH system that any time a PFP project does very well, it of course is going to rise our value. But last night I was able to finally sit down and watch Vitalik's 30-minute talk at ETH Mexico, and a lot of great alpha in there, mainly just kind of how he sees where Ethereum is in the context of the decade of 2020, of the 2020s, and where we're really going to go from here. And he really advocated for developers at this point to be building things that they anticipate will be useful when Ethereum fees are 100 to maybe 1,000 times cheaper. And that's massive because we all know someone like Vitalik. It's been years where he's been talking about infrastructure and building a lot of the pieces of ETH. But now it really seems like it's finally pivoting to this. We need to build applications, and we all get that, right? Like we need to be building on our .eths. And I felt like the most bullish I felt on ENS was on one of the slides when he actually barely mentioned us. It was on what things we need to build for a true decentralized internet, and it was just very much taken for granted, which is good for us because it's really obvious that you need your ENS name when you're moving around on these Web3 websites. And I know that's not probably the most sexy thing to talk about, so he kind of just skipped over it. But it's massive, and we all get it, and we're all here. And the digital scarcity, I feel like with the Sotheby's, I'm real excited about that personally because there's a lot of grails out here, and I'm wondering really where they're going to go. So what names are they really going to consider valuable? Are they going to go pre-punks? Are they going to go 3 digits? I'm really not sure, but I'm really excited to see where they're going to take it. So just wanted to bring back a little bit of that ETH Mexico speech. I know Vitalik hasn't been in our the greatest of graces in the community, but it was very bullish, and I think he really has like some good intentions, at least at face value.
Thank you for that, man. I think, yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, bro. The foundation of what we're building over the course of the next 10 to 15 years is going to start at the ground level identity, right? It's going to start at the ground level of identity, which is AKA ENS. So I'm very excited about that, to be honest with you. I'm very, very excited. Thank you for sharing that. Let's go over to, did Punks leave the stage? I think Punks left the stage, y'all. Maybe he got stage fright. Cool. We have Triple Code Face in replace Punks. Triple Code Face, the stage is yours, man.
Amazing, incredible, fantastic. Well, first of all, GM everyone, hello. Hopefully you're all doing well. I guess I'll just do a little update of what's been going on in emoji land since all y'all know me as the emoji guy. So last night we had a really huge buy. Floki Inu has acquired the triple dog emoji, which was really crazy to all of us inside of our Discord. This is one of the first instances of a large organization, something that could be called like a company or a movement, adopting one of these symbols. And as we know, there's 1 billion dog coins, but only one of them has the dog emoji, and that's Floki Inu now. We were able to confirm with their marketing lead that they purchased the domain and they're going to tweet it from their main account sometime in the next week. That account has like nearly 350,000 followers. So a humongous amount of representation is going to be pointed towards ENS, pointed towards this idea that you can have this transferable identity and domain and put onto the idea that it can also be an emoji. And Floki has made the first and possibly the last move with this emoji when it comes to owning the representation of a dog. There are other dog emojis. There's even a single dog emoji, which is like a service dog. But just with that buy, the value of all those, in my opinion, jumped really high. And when they tweet about it, the value of all the ENSs will probably jump a little bit. A lot of people will come into the ecosystem trying to figure out what's going on with this thing. And, I forget who was talking earlier, but was saying this thing is going to creep up on us a little bit faster than we anticipated, maybe. But I'm in full agreement of it. I mean, we're talking about visual linguistics at this point, especially with the emoji domains. There are lots of companies that have moved their marketing and their branding purely towards a symbol. Starbucks is one of them. The logo used to have like Starbucks coffee. Now it's just got the mermaid or whatever they call it. Target used to have the word Target. Now it's just Target. Apple is just an Apple, but you understand by looking at the symbol that there's a whole breadth and depth to the subject matter beyond that. There's an iPhone, there's an iPad, etc. Let's take the automobile emoji, for instance, just to take this idea a little bit further. I just put out a tweet about this, talking about the idea in general, but say Ferrari buys the race car emoji and they start using the race car emoji. There are plenty of other manufacturers that make race cars that take pride in that, but none of them will be able to actually own the symbolism. And the thing when people see it is that they understand that it's a race car. No matter what the language, no matter who you are, you're going to see that and go, oh, that thing drives really fast. And Ferrari is the representation of that thing that drives fast when they own the symbol. So I'm really stoked off of this buy. It's my ENS update, and I hope it excites you too. So thanks for letting me chat about it.
Hey, just to kind of touch on what Coldface was saying, guys, in regards to Floki purchasing that three dog emoji.eth name, and once they tweet out about it, this is what you need to kind of keep, just kind of think about, right? So Floki is a crypto. I come from that crypto world, right? All the shit coins and all of that stuff, right? So I come from that world. So Floki is one of those cryptocurrencies, right? But what you have to understand is there wouldn't be a Floki without Shiba Inu cryptocurrency. There wouldn't be a Shiba Inu without Dogecoin. So you got to think all of those communities that follow Floki, and once they do that post, those communities are connected. So you'll start to see some of those crypto centric folks out there who don't know a lot about ENS. That is a bridge to bring them over and to start understanding, like, what the heck is that? What did they just do? It introduces them to .e, to ENS domain. So think about how wide they're going to cast out that net. So I just wanted to put that in perspective for you guys because they're all connected.
Totally. That's a huge thing to point out. And these communities are in ways fierce rivals and have been rivals for years. So when they see this type of thing happening, when someone emerges as a market leader in this kind of subgenre that honestly millions of people are invested in, everyone else wants to jump on board too. They're asking, Dogecoin, why aren't you adopting this system? Why aren't you setting your wallet resolver as the dog emoji? Why didn't you buy that if you are positing to us that it is the premier dog emoji? You know what I'm saying? You need to be more comprehensive than any other competitor, or else you're falling behind in the mind share of the people that utilize that service. And another big thing, all these people are just adjacent to ENS. They already have wallets. They already understand cryptocurrency. They already understand the type of integration that we're talking about. So when they see this, they're going to go, "Oh shit! I didn't even know that was possible. Let me go to the registrar and make my name right now."
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off of that, Coldface, a lot of people in here may not understanding the aggressive marketing campaign that Floki does. Floki really gets out there and they push that brand really heavy. And if you guys get a chance, go out there and check out their Twitter page, man. They push it very heavily online and out there in the real world. whether it's billboards, whether it's buses or whatever that they're putting their brand on, they constantly push it out. And one of the things that I wouldn't be surprised, I'll say this, I would not be surprised if Floki became one of those, ENS domain, holders, or with the three dog emoji, to really expand their community using subdomains. I would not be surprised once that name wrapper hits if they actually marketed that to their holders.
Yeah, so like I just wanted to drop in and just add like one last extension of this idea here. We're talking a lot about the barrier of entry for companies into Web3 and ENS and the merge that's happening right now, and how it's kind of this perfect storm of elements that's getting together right now, and we're really curious what's going to happen next. I agree that I think the acceleration of adoption is going to take place after the merge is finished. ETH is green, and everyone can posit it as a good addition to their ecosystem. But the fact still stands that marketing is very solidly based in this type of visual linguistics. There are studies that show that images hit your mind with more force and impact, and you notice them faster than words. You can own the word soccer. You can own the word football. You can own the word football. You can own it in every type of language, but there's only one soccer ball emoji, and everyone on the planet will know exactly what that is when they see it. Extend that to every type of corporation that you can think of, that there is an emoji that has a representation for it. Starbucks owning the coffee emoji, an auto manufacturer owning the car emoji, FIFA owning the soccer emoji, and you'll start to see how once the frenzy kicks in for these types of visual representations and the idea is understood that the person that owns it is probably going to own it forever and never let it go, it's going to get really crazy, in my opinion. So yeah, thanks for letting me chat, everybody. I hope you're going to have an amazing day today. I know it's been great for me so far. And yeah, let's keep it rocking. Maxis.
Love it. Yeah, Coldface. I think you make great points, man. It just makes sense, right? We utilize emojis every single day, right? Whether it's through tweets, through text messages. Look at the title of the space, right? Fire, ENS updates, fire emoji. So it's something that has become ingrained in our society, something that we use on a daily basis. To still fade it is to kind of be, it's to not be forward thinking a little bit, in my opinion. Let's go over to Stephen Miller, and then we just got Gwayman on stage.
Well, look, I need to make sure that I'm being respectful here. Gwayman has been brought up plenty across this space, so allow me to just say GM and introduce the man, the myth, the Gwayman.
Yo, I appreciate that, Steven. I didn't mean to take your talking time, bro, but I want to come up here and say what's up to everybody. I see some of the news getting out, and I'm very happy to be involved. I think it's very exciting stuff, and it's got me feeling bullish as ever out here.
Definitely, man. So, Gwayman, if you want to just walk us through what happened on Twitter, and then just share with us how the conversation went. You don't have to reveal too much. I know that that's personal and private within the actual DM conversations. But if you could just walk us through the whole timeline, that would be great, man.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it real brief and get the whole thing out while still respecting the privacy of the conversation. So a long story short, I seen the other day people were minting out these or registering these .tez and .sol domains, and they were trying to run up the 10K and the 999 attempt again, which again, and I don't mean to hate on other chains and stuff. That wasn't my goal with it. But what happened was I seen in one of the bigger influencer pages, he posted about it, saying how he was buying a bunch of these Sol digits and he was trying to buy any. Well, in their responses, I seen Matt Higgins from Shark Tank had reached out and he asked him to educate him on what he's talking about and why he's grabbing these .sols. He said he's out of the loop. So I seen an opportunity there. I said, okay, this big guy, smart man, does not know about these blockchain naming systems yet. So I want to take this chance to try to put him onto the good stuff. So I kind of made a comment. I said, hey, you can look into this if you want, but I suggest you should look into ENS domains. These are like the real deal. I said people are kind of just trying to mimic the success right now, which, again, it's not hating on the other chains, but in my opinion, I think ENS, if you're gonna take the time to learn about something, take the time to invest money, and you're a real deal guy, you might as well look at the real deal. So I put him onto the ENS, and I seen that response got a little bit of traction. So then I went a step farther. I actually got a DM from somebody, so I want to shout out. It's actually flower emoji, so it's flower, flower, flower. But he hit my DMs and he said, "Hey, you should maybe register something and give it to him." So then I was able to go and register mhiggins.eth because that is what his @ is on Twitter. His full name was taken, but M Higgins, I feel like it was a good enough attempt to try to get him that. So I went and registered mhiggins.eth, and I came back to the post after seeing it got some traction, and I said, "Hey, I registered this, and I would like to give it to you for free. So if you let me give it to you, you can play with ENS, you can learn about it a little bit yourself, just to kind of welcome him in." And again, I didn't charge. I had a few people say I should have made money off of this and that, but that wasn't my goal here. Uh, I think it will trickle down a lot bigger off of gifting it. So I know a lot of people are against gifting things, man, but we got to look at the big picture. So it cost me like $18 to get his name or something. That's nothing compared to what that connection could do. So I went ahead and registered it, and I made a post to him saying, "Hey, I'd like to gift this to you." And he actually replied back pretty fast saying, like, "Hey, that was very nice of you." And he said he would follow me and DM me. And I got a follow from him and a DM. And he pretty much, the first DM, he was like, "So what is this thing?" And then that's when I just got to work. I actually hit Gary Palmer. So shout out to you, Gary. Thank you for helping me on the back end. I want to get the best articles and best content I could. So I explained it to him in my words, and he was kind of getting the gist of it. And I explained to him my whole reasoning. I've been in ENS for like a year and a half now. I think it was February of 2021. So, time's been flying. But I want to make sure I gave him all the good things and all the, run it by your people, make sure they approve of these articles and see the potential for yourself. And it actually didn't take long. So he didn't just accept the gift off the jump. He wanted to know what he was dealing with. And then sorry, I was reading DM. So he wanted to know what he was dealing with, and so I just broke it down to him. I answered all the questions I could. I explained the whole thing to him and kind of the potential. And he had mentioned that he was pretty big into domains in the past for like .coms and stuff. And then once he kind of started picking up what I was putting out in front of him, he said, "Wow, I wish I would have knew about this earlier." So he kind of jumped right on board, and then it actually turned into
Not too
him.
late.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, "Hey, man, it's not." He said, "I wish I knew about this earlier." I said, "I promise you, you're still early." And I made a joke with him. I said, "You beat the other sharks," so that's got to make him feel kind of good. And he's actually a really cool guy. I've never talked to. I talk to a lot of people, but I haven't had the opportunity to talk to somebody in a certain higher position like that. So it was really cool. And I gotta say, man, he's a really just cool guy. He was really easy to talk to, and he didn't seem so. I don't know. I guess I was expecting more of like a corporal like approach or something. He was like, I could just tell I was talking to him. He actually, after he bought his digit, he hit me with the "let's fucking go," and that's when I said, "Yeah, you belong here."
True,
But
true degen.
yeah, exactly. He knew what he was doing. So once he got the idea behind it, and I kind of explained because I noticed he was in NFTs a little bit, and I talked to him about his NFT history. Said he's been at it for like a little over a year, and I kind of explained to him how there's no NFT like ENS domains. So the fact he's here now, and the fact he heard me out, I just appreciate that. And it actually turned into him. I jokingly had to hit him with the NFA because he asked me, "What am I bullish on? What do I think are good pickups?" And I'm not allowed to give that information, but I just, on a friendly conversation, I just kind of pointed him towards ENS Vision because we all love Vision, and it's a great place to go, especially if you're new and you want to know where the volume is and what's going on. And then that's when he came to me about the digits. And as a lot of you guys know, okay, I've had my comments on the digits, and I've had my take on the digits. But I'll tell you what, to have this guy come in here and we talk, we chit chatted back and forth. We've actually been talking all day long, like the past 2 or 3 days. It's kind of crazy, but for him to come in, and then I was able to get the whole concept to him pretty short time, just a couple hours. And then right after he got it, and I was explaining subdomains to him, I was explaining a lot of the things I was explaining to him, and then he was like, "What do you think about the 3 digits?" So for a guy like Matt to come in and then he was interested in the digits, I said, "All right, I may not have any. This isn't gonna help my digit bag, but for him to see the potential and question that, it made me rethink my stance 100%. I said, all right, the Twitter degens, I love you all, but we all got our take on things. I said, I can't fully trust that. I take it all with a grain of salt. But for big money to come in and their first entrance was the digits, I was like, damn, maybe I really do need to step back on this one. So by no means did I fud the bag or anything. I definitely, if anything, I backed it, and I said, I'll be honest, that's probably your safest bet. And if you want liquidity, then boom, because it was easy to explain the scarcity. It was easy to explain the universal aspect of digits, and then his thing was the area codes, which if you see the ones he picked up Houston, and then he picked up New York. So two big dog digits right there, and he did that on his own. Like, I didn't tell him what numbers, I just pointed him towards the numbers, and he did the rest on his own. So like I said, it just clicked, man. He's a smart guy, and I think he knows what he's doing out here. He's not new to the domain game; he's just new to ENS. So then to see that happen, it was pretty crazy. I did put him onto some words. I explained subdomain potential. I explained building off these names and how that can go down. So I don't think he's done. And I don't think he's just a digit guy, but he wanted to get his exposure where the liquidity is and where things are in the current market. But I've been chit chatting with him, and I don't think he's done out here.
Wow, guys, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to unpack right there. First of all, I want to say, great work by you playing point guard on that and getting help from the community, right? From guys like Gary and so forth, who kind of assisted you on that. I think that is a valuable lesson we all can learn, right? There's valuable points we all can learn when it comes to onboarding and bringing on the next wave and the next generation of people. So I want to say great work, Gway. Congrats on your 4-digit. I know this was a long time coming for you, so congrats on that. Now, one thing is, he picked up the second area code he picked up was 917. There's some speculation that he picked that up from Gary. Gary transferred him some ETH, and he probably picked that up from Gary. Do you know anything about that, or no?
As far as the Gary V thing, that was kind of new to me. I will say I did my little bit of research. I know Matt from I've seen Shark Tank. I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. It's not like I got a favorite shark or anything. He's not one of the top 5 that's on there mainly, but he's on there a lot. And I didn't fully know his history, so I did once I got to talking with him, I said, I gotta, you gotta know who you're dealing with. So I did a little bit of research, and then I realized how big into New York he is. And I said, whoa, this guy, he's bigger than I thought. So and I actually seen in his video, even his Shark Tank video, like his little promo where they bring on the new sharks and they introduce themselves, and Gary V was in his video. And I guess Gary V works pretty close with him with I don't know the words I want to use, but new technology and getting knowledge on the new up and coming stuff. I seen Gary V was in his office in one of these videos, so I thought that was crazy considering Gary V's NFT thing. So I think that they definitely probably have some ties together. They talk, and the fact that I didn't know about that transfer
It's
right
on
there.
the block. It's on the blockchain. It is
See,
a
that's
fact.
crazy. That's crazy because I just seen it once you guys put the post up top, and I helped broker the deal. He was looking to buy it, and I knew the guy selling it. So then I tried to work the best deal for him, and get it for less than what he was looking to get it for originally, and I was able to do that successfully. So I looked at, I was scratching his back, and then the seller was happy to sell too. So I think everybody took a win here. That's actually how I purchased my 4-digit for full disclosure. After I helped him, he sent me a little thank you for helping, and he said, I want you to get into the 10K. So then I said, hey, I can do that. so I was able to get myself in from working just the ties. And again, I didn't ask for anything. Even when I gave him the name, he said,
You
what do I
gave him
owe
a
you?
name for free, and you still got paid after providing a service and value.
Yeah, yes,
Very,
sir.
very interesting. So you weren't just like all up in his grill, being like, "Yo, buy my name." You were like cool about it. That's new.
Yeah, yes, sir. One thing my father taught me: it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I try to build the connections when I can. And that was one thing. Even after I successfully landed the name in his wallet and showed him how to set it up, he one thing he asked, he said, "What do I owe you?" And I said, "You don't owe me anything. Like that wasn't the agreement. You heard me out. You gave me time. That means a lot." And then that conversation didn't end there. That's when I mean, we talk football, we talk family, we talked a few other things. Like I said, he's actually a really cool guy, and I think he respected the way I approached that. So I think I got the best win out of it that I could have. I didn't go in there looking for nothing because I figured if I can successfully do this, there's hundreds of people on Twitter. I'm talking about all you guys in here every day. That we do this every day together. So if I can land this successfully,
He still follows you?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was actually just chatting with him probably 20 minutes ago. But yeah. I told him, you need help with anything else, man. I'm here, and I think I think I built a good little relationship with that. So that was very successful. And yeah, I just happened to be able to join the 10K afterwards from helping with a few things.
Yeah, man. I think the universe always comes in full circles, right? I think it's you didn't go shilling him his own name and say, "Hey, I got this for 2 ETH," right? You understood the assignment. It was $18, paying $18 for a relationship with a shark on Shark Tank, a multimillionaire, is it goes a long way, and you already got the fruits of that labor. So shout out to Gray Man. Let's give a round of applause from Gray Man. I think that's a valuable thing we all can learn here, and I think that's just one of many, right? That is one of many. And that's what this community, what this space is all about. It's about onboarding next generation, networking, fellowshipping, building relationships, building connections. And man, we have a really strong community. I'm proud to say that. But we do have a couple people with their hand up and so little time left. So we're going to keep the show moving right along here. Let's go over to Stephen Miller, who passed up his turn for Gwayman. So thank you, Steve, for being patient. The stage is yours, brother.
Of course, man. As I said to everybody before, GM, Gway, man, I love hearing the fact that you're doing some of the big work and doing, as Punk says, doing the damn thing. So appreciate you for that. And again, everybody should be taking notes, right? We should all be trying to onboard more people, whether it's a big fish in the Shark Tank like Matt, or if it's just your neighbor, right? Every single one of them is another onboard to the space. But I kind of had to take the opportunity because Gway, man, kind of teed it up, put it on the tee for me. We have an ENS Shark Tank, if you did not know. An ENS Shark Tank is back today with its 5th episode, and we are ready to make some damn deals in here. So if you want to come and pitch your grails, or you want to come and learn a little bit about the way that people are thinking about appraising their own domains so they can get off that high horse of like putting up 420 ETH offers and 420 ETH listings and 69.420 listings, it's a really great way to start connecting with the community and getting a better idea for like exactly how you should go about listing your domains and how we are all better off kind of crowdsourcing the value behind the domains that we own. So yeah, we're going to be doing that at 5 p.m. Eastern time today. I'll go ahead and drop a pin on that one in a minute. But again, much appreciation to everybody in here. Y'all are legends. Appreciate every one of you. And another quick shout out to my co-hosts on that Shark Tank space. We've got Flexter on stage. He's one of my co-hosts for that show. And we've also got Quad Rockets, who's a regular in here, and Trickshotting.eth. So we're ready to have a good time. We hope you'll join us, and we hope to buy your domains. Cheers.
Hey, Kev, real quick, Steven, man, I don't know. I kind of see a potential special guest on the Shark Tank happening, on the ENS Shark Tank happening pretty soon. Gway, man, I don't know, man. I mean, this is what the world is coming to. That may be a nice little connection, so.
Hey, that would be crazy if that would happen. I think it'd be really cool to get him on his spaces. I'm sure he's very busy, but I'll run it by him. Like I'll definitely run it by him. I don't want to like over like shill things again, but I think he's definitely intrigued, and he's intrigued with what's going on with the community. And I'm gonna just drop the alpha in here, man. He's just waiting for this avatar to update on his name because he wants to represent that 917 correctly. But then he said he's gonna go ahead and do that little Twitter thing with the name and represent correctly. So I'm ready to see that a little bit later today.
That's lit, dude. Yeah, look, and I want to make sure that I also say it before we go on. NFT verse, you bring up a great point. There's a spot for a cameo, and there's a spot for guest judges all the time on Shark Tank. In fact, Gwayman himself is the Matt Harris of our ENS Shark Tank. I've thought about it a lot. He was supposed to be a judge at the very first show, and we've had him pop on for a couple here and there where he can, but I understand he's a very busy Gwayman. And I got to give a lot of respect to that. So, our Matt Harris is always welcome. You know that.
Awesome.
Much love.
Yep, there we have it, y'all. Shark Tank, ENS Shark Tank later tonight. I'll definitely be stopping by and catching some of that as well. So appreciate what you guys are doing for the community. Let's go over to my boy Punks, and then we'll probably anchor it with 5459. So Punks, man, welcome to the stage, brother.
Yo, GM Kev, I guess buenos dias, EBD, buena dia, y que bola for our ENS Latinos at Taco Tuesday. Shout out to the Guay man, all the Guays, Queen Guay, Baby Guay. We love you. We love what you're doing. Let me tell you, doing something like that, it makes it easier for the next person to onboard. And then it's only going to need to be done so many times before we don't need to do it. They're coming straight to us. So nicely done. I like to say that's good for the soul, what you just did. There's two things I'm going to circle back to what Gwayman and our guy Stephen Miller were talking about, because I was going to bring it up anyway. But I pinned two things at the top. One, me and 3402, we're going to be doing that Gitcoin, ENS DAO, GR15 space today with the NFT verse. So, hey, if you can make it, support the community, like it, retweet it, get that word out. But there's another special one. So she's doesn't come into spaces too often, but Ellie, is our girl. Helen Stans from Kenya. She's from the ENS DAO Public Goods Working Group, and she's doing some spaces all week long with women-led initiatives. So click that, share it. And then I'm going to share something about Board ENS Yacht Club, and I'm going to circle back to these women-led initiatives real quick. And then I'm going to tie that in with what Gwayman did and what Stephen Miller are talking about. So we all know, right, what I'm always trying to do. We're onboarding, we're educating. I'm trying to bridge that gap, onboard, educate to the ENS DAO, not just on the ENS. And so I just pinned it to the top. Check it out. Support me. I did been sick post in the ENS DAO. Hey, I'm just really trying to get you there. And here's why. Let's shift gears here. Our girl Ellie from the Public Goods Working Group, right? She's got a post in the DAO right now for doing spaces this week for these women-led initiatives, and she's requesting a budget of $4,000. And funds would go to her, funds would go to the promotion, and funds would go to the speakers, these women that are doing these spaces. Shout out to the queens. Again, they're going to be doing this space today at 1 o'clock. So put that in perspective, and I'm going to tell you my story of onboarding. Not to beat a dead horse, but George Masvidal, the BMF.ETH, right? This past Saturday, there was a UFC fight, and a couple of the .ETH guys had a space, and they had another fighter in there, Carlos Condit. Well, it just so happens Carlos Condit.ETH was registered by your boy, and I gave it to my guy Abe Kawa, the owner of First Round Management, who represents George. And so I hit him up. I said, Abe, check it out. He knows what this ENS stuff is because he's in the space hosted by these dudes. They're doing play-by-play. What do you think about that? He said, I like it. Take it to the DAO. You got my football players. You got the MMA fighters. Why don't you propose doing Monday night football spaces with some of the players and then do the UFC cards with some of the fighters? And I was like, all right, that's what I've been waiting for. And it's really encouraging. Like I'm saying, check out, you got to get it in the ENS DAO, right? You got Ellie doing this request for the 5 spaces she's doing this week with Marcus from the Public Goods. And it is not an insubstantial amount of funding. That's what we're talking about. So how do we tie that in, right? Gway, Stephen Miller, we're just chopping it up right now. What if there's funding to bring your boy Matt right in that? Plug him in. Boom, he gets some funding. It's a no-brainer, right? Connected with the community. It's good. You can onboard more. It's going to bring more people in. So just shout out to what Gwayman and Stephen Miller are doing. Shout out to the Maxis. This is that community building. And so push has come to shove with me. I'm going to be doing either a temp check or a proposal. I'm going to jump in the DAO meeting today for the Public Goods Working Group, and I'm going to bring it up. And so, that's what's up. Like I said, it's good for the soul, but next thing you know, it's going to be good for the pocket. It's going to be good for the community, and that's what we want to see. We want to see this thing continue to build. So that's it. Throw it over to our girl 5459. Anchor this thing.
Hey, GM everyone, punks, thank you. Gwayman, I had two quick questions. So first of all, do you know, so was it a private deal that they did, or did they buy it off ENS Vision? Can everyone still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep, we can hear
Yeah.
you. Probably stepped away from his phone.
Oh, got it. Okay, well, I'll just DM him later anyways. But I'm hoping that
It should all be on chain. You should be able to just pull it up
yeah,
and look at the blockchain explorer.
yeah, I'll go find it. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, with Gwei, I hope you write a thread, about all the steps that you took to do this, not only to, so that you get the proper credit, right, for onboarding someone, but also so that you show people that this is the right way to onboard people. You approach people with humility, you weren't asking for anything. And hey, like, even if it didn't work out, right? Like, maybe in the future, that same person would think, you know what, I had a good interaction with this person who was talking about .eth names before. Maybe I'll check it out now. And so I just think that kind of behavior is just the pillar of this community. You are an excellent steward, and just, really, really glad that you're here. This is what it's all about. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, 5459. Let's Ron, Master, Gary, any final words before we kind of call this one a day?
Yeah, man. What a wow. What a epic space today, Gray Man's everywhere. I know he was involved in that Franklin fake bids for his thing and got screwed on that. I mean, the guy's everywhere. But it was talking. We had our. I think I told you guys how we had our 15th year charity golf tournament. It's not really mine. It's more my business partners. This is the 15th year. Gives 100% of the money to orphanages and mostly in Indonesia and different places, homeless shelters. But one of our big sponsors. You've all been. If you've been to those golf tournaments, there's always like a hole-in-one deal where you can win a truck or something. And this one of our sponsors hit a hole-in-one and won a $30,000 razor. One of those Polaris side-by-sides. And the way that works is, I think we paid $800. You buy insurance because it's like 20,000 to 1 odds of happening, right? But he got bam. He was one of our main sponsors, and bam, he hit a hole-in-one, which probably never done. And won $30,000. And I thought of that, Gray Man. Yeah, it always comes back to you. It usually doesn't come back that quick, but that's awesome. And yeah, that's the thing. Not even here's Gray Man. Doesn't even own any digits, and but he's not. You're not going to fade them. You're not going to say they're not valuable, and it's huge. It's just that one little thing, and like I say, it could be your neighbor next door. It could be a celebrity, whatever. It could be the BMF himself, Jorge Masvidal. I mean, it's just it just happens like dominoes. It can happen like dominoes. So just awesome. That was an awesome speech. I mean, I'm so much more pumped up now at the end of this call. By the way, we never even mentioned, Michael Saylor raised another $500 million to buy Bitcoin. That there's so much news going on that didn't even make our list of top 8 things to talk about. I mean, this is happening. It's exciting within ENS. It's even happening a lot faster. And yeah, I'm just blown away with what a great space that was. How every day it just seems like they just get better and better. And yeah, thank you, Gray Man. Thank you, punks, everyone else that's out there making stuff happen, because you don't know, there's that 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever. You never know who you talks to someone, and maybe brings on someone that just brings in potentially millions of people, has that kind of influence. So yeah, exciting, man. Big day, epic day. I'm pretty pumped, man. It was, yeah, what a great spaces, and seems like every day is great spaces. So once again, Master's not here, but I'll just quote Master and saying every day is a good day in ENS.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, go ahead, Gary. You can go ahead.
One at a
oh yeah,
time.
I was just going to throw out that Gary V. I think he's an investor in Rally app, And the Rally app did take off one of the 3 digits off the market, and they put it into the Rally. I think it was 105.eth. And yeah, so like people fractionally own that digit, and then there's all those other digits that are fractionally owned, you know, which basically it's like really hard to get them to be not fractionally owned. It's not impossible, but so it's just like more and more names coming off the market. And then if Sotheby's, right, auctions off some, and you know, it's just it is very, very interesting, you know, like the the number of people who could, there's only 10,000 people that could be in the 10K club, right? I mean, it's mind blowing. There's only 1,000 people that could be in the 999 club, and 100 of those names are already locked up forever, right? And it's just who's that going to be, let alone the 10K club, right? And yeah, so there's a lot falling into place. There's a lot happening, and I am still just flabbergasted. Words aren't getting the respect that they deserve. At 3-letter words, 4-letter words, 5-letter words, 6-letter words, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 words are not getting the respect that, like, I think numbers are exactly where they should be. I think numbers should be 10 times higher. But there's a lot of all the words. There's only so many words. There's probably only a few thousand real words that we use, you know, and then we just like reuse words over and over again. But those should be like 10 times higher than the numbers, right? And so just wait till we get to, you know, like we have these like more development and more use cases and like more like Web3 search engines and more Web3 websites. And I mean, if you're looking through the stuff on Coin Grants, which please go vote, go donate. There's a lot of people building on Web3 ENS names. So I think it's only a matter of time before, you know, the business case catches up to the value case. So yeah, exciting times. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, just I'll leave you guys with this. You know, just want to shout out all the ENS onboarders out there. You know, your first impression is what is the first thing that people are going to hear about or see in this community. So the way that Gwayman handled his situation, the way that Punks handled his situation with these guys who have heavy influence, you know, out there in the social media space, the way you guys handle that and the way those impressions are reflected is a welcoming path to ENS. And I think that number one, they respect you for how you approached them, and you gave them the information that they needed. You supplied them the information they needed. You gave them the tools and resources instead of trying to blow things up just based off of you talking. You had resources and tools to point them to, and I think that that's what's important in this space, is being able to point people. You can talk to them and tell them so much, but most people, especially in those types of positions of influence, are going to want to see some details and some information to back that up. So I appreciate how you guys approach that. Many of us in here will also have that same opportunity as we move forward. So just kind of stay the path and understand that your first impression is everything.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. First impression is everything. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a phenomenal episode. We do this show every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So I'm inviting everybody who's listening right now, again, to come join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I want to give a special shout out to our sponsor, ENS Maxis, who is on stage. Give them a click on their profile, check them out. If you have over 10 ENS domains in your wallet, definitely check out the collection, because that's what they're all about, right? To support this community, aka hence this sponsorship. So with that being said, y'all, I'm about to go get a haircut. Peace out.
You don't need nobody else, I swear. I want to out of myself because I'm selfish. I want to out of myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else. I swear. I want too hard on myself, I swear I'm selfish. I want too hard on myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else, I swear. I want too hard on myself because I'm selfish. I want too hard on myself, I swear. You don't need nobody else. I want too hard on myself. Now that I got you here, girl, I ain't gon' play with you. Because it's a lot of things that I wanna say to you. Girl, you know you the shit. Balenciaga's on your kicks. Woo. Niggas all on your dick, but we ain't gon' trip. Cause I'm not ready